been sleeping for way too long. One thing I can't stand about parents is that we forgot at one time we were children. We forgot how, when people ignored us, how it made us feel. When people yelled at us, how it made us feel. When people called us out our name, how it made us feel. We pretend we don't have feelings so that when the children come in our presence, we can treat them like they don't have feelings. Like it means nothing to dismiss them. Like it means nothing to ignore them. One thing my 3-year-old does, I don't even know where the hell she got it from. She's coming to me talking about her feelings. I feel sad. So immediately I go into investigation mode. What is it that's making you sad? Because my ass, I'm a fucking fixer. I want to try to make it better. Sometimes it's not meant for me to make it better, but I still like to be aware. I like to be aware of what's going on in my house. Going back to parents. I can only speak on mothers. Because one time I was a little girl. Then I was a teenage girl. Then I was a young woman. And now I'm an older woman. But first and foremost, I'm a mother. So being a mother, I'm inclined to be nurturing, compassionate, empathetic, but I'm still a fixer. What's happening right now is children are being hurt. Children are being hurt by adults. Children are being hurt by other kids. But what has recently been brought to my attention is like soon as all this fucking COVID shit happened and what's it called? Where everybody got to stay in the house? Right. Isolation and quarantine. Most people were quarantined. Some people was considered essential workers, so they still had to leave their house every day. But who the fuck was they leaving their kids with? Who the fuck is at home watching the kids? I like the idea of kids watching themselves. We all had to watch ourselves. Latchkey kids, older siblings. We had to watch ourselves. We became very independent. We became able to cook a meal, able to clean something up, able to be resourceful. We had to use our brains. We had to find solutions. We had to be fixers. But as I said, something recently been brought to my attention. And this is why I feel like it's imperative to speak to the mothers. Because I came across a brother one time that told me mostly all the women he come in contact with been sexually assaulted or sexually abused. Most, my nigga, was that 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10. So if 8 out of 10 women, young girls, young teenage girls, been sexually assaulted or sexually abused, at what point do they start becoming aware to make sure it don't happen to their own kid? Like, who the fuck is watching the kids? All these people home on quarantine. And numbers, don't ask me to quote no motherfucking numbers. Numbers have increased as to sexual abuse of the kids. We always want to protect the girls, but it's the boys who need the protection as well. Nobody gonna say, oh, it's 8 out of 10 men been sexually assaulted when you try and deal with this man in your grown relationship. You don't always know what happened to him in his childhood. But as young girls was being assaulted, young boys was being assaulted as well. And I cry. I cry for the silent suffering of our men. The men who need to be healed. Because some creep, male or female, sexually assaulted this person as they were young, vulnerable, and defenseless. I say all that to say, now's the time to have serious conversations with your children. I implore you, I will make a good fun day out of it. Go for ice cream, go for a swim, go for a walk, make some quality time with this child of yours, and start getting down to the business. We need to find out from these children if someone have touched them inappropriately, if someone have exposed them to sexual activity. And I'm not saying this so you can start getting angry at the person who have done this. I'm saying this for the sake of your kid. Fuck who did it to them. Care so much about your kid that you're asking them what happened in detail, how many times in detail, who was it in detail. Because your child needs to know that you care so much for them. Your child needs to know that you're going to fight for their rights. Your child needs to know that you love and care for them. So much so that if they have this pain deep inside them, this secret, that they can share this secret with you and you're going to go hard for them. Fuck who did it to them. This is not about getting angry at a person and going after them. This is about your kid. Because what has to happen is so much love need to be poured into this child, young adult, young boy, young girl, in order for them to heal. Fuck who did it to them. That person have had it done to them. It is not important to go after the person who done this to them. It is important to find out if this have happened to your kid. It is important to find out how you can be there for your child at this time. Because if it's happening, if it's still happening, if it ever happened, you need to know. Especially if it happened to you as a kid. If it happened to you as a kid, I understand that there's some deep traumas inside of a lot of people. Things they don't want to face, things they don't want to admit to, things that they don't want to address. Fuck you and your feelings. Care so much about the kids right now that we have to let them know that we dropped the ball. We had to go to work. We couldn't be there and watch them. We had to go to school. We couldn't be there and watch them. Sometimes we wanted to party, and we put our desires before them. There's nothing wrong with being honest, addressing these things, asking for forgiveness, and moving forward. Moving forward. It don't say nothing in Tanakh about sexual abuse. And I have come to realize that it don't talk about these things because it is a parent's sole responsibility to be watching their own child. When we send our kids off with these coaches, when we send these kids off into these programs and then we leave, what the fuck is wrong with us? We're supposed to be there watching our kid. We're not supposed to be putting our children in the hands of other people. Because there are so many people who don't know what love is. There's so many people with deep down pain and trauma inside of them. You don't know what the fuck they're capable of. So, in conclusion, it has been drawn to my attention that there has been an increase in number of children who are being sexually assaulted during this quarantine time. And I ask you, I implore you, as their parent, to go talk to your child and make sure you heal as an adult and go heal your fucking kid. And the reason I say this is because you don't want your child to be a predator, and you want to protect everybody. And if it comes down to you needing to find out who done this, you're going to have to find out who else they done it to. But you come first, your child comes first, and fuck anybody else's house. You cannot fix the world until you fix yourself.